This because we have to go now because of time.
Yes, I'm listening.
Leading up to that last election, there was a candidate of a top political party vying for the position of governorship that was kidnapped. What's the plight of that person now?
Yes. Incidentally, nobody knows because up till now, that candidate has not been seen.
So the governor has not been able to bring back that candidate since he assumed office. Is that not a blight on his security credentials?
When you talk about...
Is that not a blight? That,
no, I do not think
no, hang on a minute. That a kidnap happened for over 4 years. The person has not come back. The governor has not been able to do anything about it. Is that not a big indictment on the security record of the governor?
It is. With the greatest respect, Rufai, it is a very wrong conclusion to draw on the governor. Remember, that kidnapping happened almost a year or thereabout, say 7 to 9 months before the governor took over. Nobody knows what could have happened to the candidate in question. Nobody knows if he's alive or if he's no longer alive. Remember, he was on a particular, I think he was on a campaign tour around the border between Anambra State and Imo State when that kidnapping happened. Now, when the governor came into office, of course, the first fight was to reclaim most of the communities along the Anambra South senatorial zone that has been lost to these insurgents. That was the first fight the governor undertook. And it took him quite a tortuous battle, expending very, very needless resources in getting or retrieving those communities that to do daily activities and normal activities have returned to those communities. And when you talk about an indictment on the governor, I do not even want to go into the angle of this constitutional issue with respect to security. My brother Rufai, you know those issues.
No, but you guys also, you guys also claim...
What the governor is doing.
No, let me quickly say this. But you guys also claim the governor is the chief security officer. And I repeat, it's a blight on Soludo administration that close to 4 years after, a top politician campaigning that got kidnapped, as Soludo got in, he couldn't make efforts to bring that person back. That sums up the insecurity in Anambra State, and that sums up the Soludo government.
When you say he couldn't make efforts to bring the candidate, are you bringing someone you don't know his whereabouts?
So why can't he look for the person?
What the government has been to read those communities.
Why can't he look for the person?
No. Of course. The security agencies did that, and what they have done is to read the entire communities along the Anambra South of those camps where those kidnappers were. I can tell you that in no community in Anambra South do you have an active camp presently in Anambra State.
I'm so sorry. I have to be the timekeeper on this one.
We had a gentleman on this program yesterday, also Jeff Weke, who says he's running for governor in Anambra State as the nigger. He told us that he's the nigger. Do you know him? No, I don't know why you are laughing. But the nigger was here.
No, I actually watched that program yesterday, and I saw where you were stressing the issue of the nigger. Well, whatever. That tells you I should say the caliber of candidate that is running on that platform. But I don't think it's really something that's serious for us to really expend our energy discussing.
Okay. So what are the chances of your candidate, the incumbent governor, Governor Charles Chukwuma Soludo? And then the second thing, the big elephant in the room. The governor is accused. He has tried to walk back the talk. Christian Aburime has also written a statement to say that no, the governor was not saying he will bribe people, he will buy votes, but as it is just to encourage party members. But Section 22 of the Electoral Act of 2022 is very clear that vote buying, vote selling, whether before or after, is frowned upon. I think the punishment under that Section 22 is what now? 500,000 naira or 2 years imprisonment or both. The governor enjoys immunity. But people are saying, in his own case, that was a case of too much information. He didn't even need to come and say, we will give you reward. So what do you think?
Well, first, thank you for the two-pronged question. First one is, the first arm of your question is with regards to the chances of our party. And then, of course, the second one with regards to much of the controversy that has stirred around, a very honest information, or incentive that the governor has promised for party members, in quotes, for increased voter turnout. But I'll get to that. First, I will say that there are a couple of factors that makes us quite very confident about the victory and the chances of our party in this election. Like we always say that Anambra is APGA, and APGA is Anambra is APGA land. if you check the trajectory of the growth of the party through various governors that we've had in the past, from Mr. Peter Obi to Chief Willie Obiano and now ultimately Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo, you will see an upward elevation in the fortunes of the states in terms of development. But Anambra people have come to keep faith and then repose their faith with regards to what the government of APGA has been able to achieve in Anambra all these years. So for us in APGA, for us in Anambra, apart from being, that particular saying that APGA is a people's movement here in Anambra, that Anambra is APGA land, you equally look at other indices, because I say this anywhere I go. As a political leader, what I leverage on as a political leader is the performance of the people who have been elected on the platform of the party. That's the greatest asset any political party has. And for us in Anambra State, I can say that we couldn't have been any luckier having a man like Professor Charles Soludo at this critical point in time in our nation's history. I don't want to begin to regale out with the list of what the governor has done in terms of road infrastructure, in terms of health, the revamping of public health institutions across the 326 wards in Anambra State, the brand new general hospitals, the free maternal, antenatal, and postnatal care for pregnant and expectant mother, the free education policy, so many projects, humongous projects coming up everywhere, the human capital development, the security, how in the past 6 to 9 months, how the government has been able to reduce to near zero the incidence of insecurity in Anambra and so on. I don't want to regale us with those issues, but I can tell you that if you go around the streets of Anambra State, you will see that the people are quite upbeat and happy and ecstatic about the achievements of this government in such a way that for the first time in the history of this country, we are seeing people actually come out to own the campaign of a political party. We have never witnessed such a thing in the history of the country, where communities come out and say, look, because you've been able to deliver on so and so within just 3 years plus in office, I don't think you need to give us any money. We are going to go out freely on our own, mobilize our resources, campaign for you, and even donate to the governor for both his campaign and the continued execution of other projects around the state.
Okay.
So these and many more are why we believe that APGA has a massive fortune going on in this election. And then lastly, I can draw your attention or kind of make allusion to the last by-election that we witnessed in Anambra State, where the party, because of the impressive performance of Governor Charles Soludo, was able to record about 99% victory across the polling units where the elections were conducted.
Okay.
So I can tell you that as a party, we couldn't have been any luckier. We're very upbeat. We're very confident that we are going to emerge victorious by a distant margin. Okay. Then with regards to the second issue, like I said, the issue of the controversy surrounding the promise by Mr. Governor. First, APGA currently is undertaking, or the campaign organization is undertaking a local government tour. So, Mr. Governor and the campaign organization has visited various local governments. And in those local governments, previously, let me even make this allusion. Before now, the greatest challenge we've had in Anambra is a seeming voter apathy, where the state has about 2.8 million registered voters and less than 300,000 actually turn out to vote on election day. And that's grossly about hovering between 10 to 15% of registered voters. For us, and then, of course, for the government of Professor Charles Soludo, that is not something that should be allowed or continue to fester. And the governor believes that the party members, because look, we must distinguish two things. Even the sections you refer to, Dr. Ruben, if you look at section 121 and section 127, you will see the components of the offenses that have been created under part 7 of the Electoral Act. And what are the components? One,
Mr. Ezeokenwa.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. We don't have time. Yes. We're trying to manage time this morning. And to be fair, what you've said isn't different from what's already out there. So there's no new revelation as to why this wouldn't be considered voter inducement or using money in politics. Well, let me ask you a question.
No.
Hold on, sir.
I do not.
Let me just ask you my question.
With you. No, okay. you said something.
Let me ask you my question, and you can respond together.
About...
You can respond all together. So my question is, you're talking about how well Governor Soludo has performed in the last 4 years. Well, people have, including his contenders, his co-contenders, that security, he has failed on security in Anambra State. In fact, Mr. Okachukwu of the APC has said that even in his own factory, 6 expatriates were kidnapped. We've heard stories of even the governor's security outfit, Agunne Chamber, in the news for not very good reasons. What would he do differently if elected in the next 4 years to ensure that Anambra is safe and open for business and people can actually move around and do business safely? In 1 minute, please. I'm so sorry I have to rush you, but our time is very limited. 1 minute.
When you talk about what the governor would do differently, I can tell you that what we are going to witness is a further improvement, because it will be wrong for you to mention the name you mentioned and say that the expatriate or whatever in his factory. It's over a decade whatever factory he had in Anambra State collapsed for, probably mismanagement. And so he coming on live TV to make bogus allegations or, for me, needless allegations that he knows that he cannot sustain. We'll challenge him to a debate on that issue. When was the last he had a viable factory in Anambra State? I challenge him on a debate on that issue. But I can tell you, you recall that early this year, the governor signed into law the Homeland Security Law. And that particular Homeland Security Law, regarding the component and the setting up of both Udogachi and the Agone Chamber security outfit, has largely stemmed the tide of insecurity that we used to witness in the state. Recall, because I say this, when you want to judge the governor on insecurity, you must benchmark the government of Soludo with regards to the security situation in Anambra State when he took over in office. 4 years ago, precisely in 2021, before the election, no candidate could campaign in any local government in the Anambra South. Today, every candidate, including Okachukwu, is moving freely among all the communities and all the local government of whatever is left of his campaign, campaigning freely for what he promises to do. If perchance, I know in the unlikely event that probably he wins the election. And that tells you the extent of the success this government has recorded with regards to insecurity. And it will be.